Hey Z-Boy fans, what we have in front of us is what once was Jeff Ho and Zephyr Productions surfboards from 1971 to 1976. Unfortunately, this is done in memorial of Jay Adams, who just passed away in August of a heart attack. Shugo Kobo, I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name. Shogo Kubo, Bob Beniak, Chris Cahill, and Paul Cullen. But this is actually more for the memorial of poor Jay Adams, the original seed, who never really got compensated, unfortunately, like Tony Alva and Stacy Peralta. But where we're standing is right in the heart of Dogtown in Venice, California. And this place originally, pretty much the only original part of Dogtown is this corner right here. And they were actually going to tear down Jeff Ho's original surfboard shop in 2007, but fortunately a bunch of local surfers and skateboarders got together and they designated it a Santa Monica City landmark. And this is the epicenter. This is the evolution of a revolution. This is the center of gravity. This is what started the whole skateboard craze of 1975. If you were a young kid in the mid-70s, absolutely nothing was going on except skateboarding. And the reason why it exploded at that time is because you either had the skateboard, long-haired, hipster style, radical style, or you had the disco style started by Saturday Night Fever with a short haircut and the white goofy suits made out of polyester. But this is where the original skateboard style, the whole even the clothes, that whole style that they created, and the style of skateboarding was started right here, where they were hanging out and being tutored by Skip England and taught to have discipline in their in practicing daily on their skateboards. But they didn't have to be admonished or forced to practice their skateboarding, because they love skateboarding so much, especially Jay Adams. I mean, he was the progenitor, he was the harbinger, all the Z-Boys were. But if it wasn't for that Downmore Nationals in March of 1975 and it being documented and captured on film, and Craig Stesick writing about it on those first couple of issues of Skateboard Magazine in 1975, the whole world would not have known about the whole skateboard style that was exploded from those few articles that he wrote. And they just recently, like I said, in 2001, they were going to tear this down and turn it into what they did here, what they usually do all over Venice. So they were going to tear it down and build these $1,000, $5,000 a month condos, and they designated it, fortunately. And unfortunately, like I said, we lost Jay. He just died of a heart attack in Oaxaca, Mexico. And I went in there, and the people here are totally clueless. There are all these people that have just gotten here. Most of them are a lot of sons and daughters of the rich and famous. Most of them, they are totally clueless of what happened in that corner, and neither are they interested in that whole style of the clothes and the look and the whole skateboard culture. Just, they're totally clueless. Or a lot of people here are like they work in Hollywood, and it's just another time. But I'm a kid from the 70s, so for me, I'm aware of how this little corner affected the whole world. It was like an earthquake that emanated from this little, I guess, the center of gravity. And it's funny that a lot of the popular culture started here in West LA, Santa Monica, Venice. A lot of you people from the 60s and 70s are aware of how the Doors hung out here, and where Jim Morrison wrote his original songs, and how they hung out down the street here at Olivia's Soul Kitchen. And when you go inside, there's a lot of posters of the Z-Boys. Well, like I said, you walk in there and everybody's totally clueless. Let's go in there, take a gander. And I'm here on a Sunday morning. I couldn't come on a weekday because I couldn't even hear myself talk with all the traffic and activity. But thankfully they saved it, and they were going to build these goofy type condos. And one thing about West LA, they just don't leave us any memories. Okay, let's go in. Apparently in the southern part of this was where Jeff Ho made all his boards. And he also employed a lot of the Z-Boys to load joints. And as you guys can see, we're standing in the epicenter of the skateboard culture. And then as you can see, they got the posters up on the wall. And like I said, most people here, they're obviously apparently clueless. Bunch of spoiled brats. And the whole Dogtown, the whole poverty-stricken working class area that once was, it's all gone. Like I said, it's a lot of people here from other states. Mostly, you can tell they're obviously not from Los Angeles. And it's just a whole different scene. When me and my friend were coming here in the 80s, Dogtown or Venice was pretty much original. And then during the 80s, a lot of the buildings were all boarded up, and then they finally tore down the original Venice, and this is what they left us right here. All these condos that nobody can afford to live except the rich and famous. And then along unfortunately, along the boardwalk, there's nothing but a lot of homeless on steroids. So like I said, they designated it a Santa Monica landmark, thankfully. And like I said, this is the epicenter of skate culture. And in my opinion, because of the Z-Boys, they're probably not aware, but I think this is they started the grunge style in their early or late 80s. And okay, I'm going to take you now to Bicknell Avenue, where the Z-Boys as young kids practiced their burts and their cutbacks and their totally bitchin' style of skateboarding that they were all progenitors of. Strangely enough, they all came together. I think it's like a universal spiritual mind that makes certain people come together at the same time in the same place, like Lennon and McCartney and Johnny Eccles and Arthur Lee. Okay, thanks a lot. Hope you Z-Boy fans appreciate this and like it. Thanks a lot.